How many times have you caught yourself doing the same thing that your parent did that hurt you the most to your children? Let's discuss. Let's not disregard this behavior by saying things like, oh, I had it worse. That's unacceptable. And we need to be and do better. That doesn't mean letting your kids off the hook. That's not what I'm saying. You are not your parent, and you have a choice to be and do better. Whether you break that curse or continue that curse, it's your choice. But there's consequences to your actions. As your child matures and becomes an adult, it has nothing to do with you. Just remember, God gives us free will, and you had a choice. Think about that behavior when you were growing up and tell me how it made you feel. Made you feel shitty. Made you feel less than. I mean, it hurt you to the core. Because if it didn't, you wouldn't be doing the same thing to your kid. Now ask yourself, why would you embed that negative behavior onto your child versus doing the work and being a positive example to your children? I remember growing up, the birth lady, who I like to refer to her as, would yell all the time. Instead of talking to me, she would yell and yell like directly in my face. And it was just everything. It was just lack of being able to effectively communicate. So she resorted to yelling versus getting better and learning how to effectively communicate with her children. I didn't realize that later when I became a mom, I started doing the same shit to my kids. Luckily for me, I paid more attention as a parent than my parents did to me. And I could see the effect that it had on my children. And I made a conscious decision that I was going to change me. It wasn't about my children and their behavior, but it was more so about me and how I could talk to my children versus yelling at them and cursing at them and using ineffective communication to get through to my children. This is not about being a perfect parent because there's just no such thing. This is more about accountability and reflection. And sometimes, even though we don't have, the rule book and always know what to do and the right thing to do, I've noticed that when I'm authentic with my children and I come and I apologize for my shortcomings, but I apologize and still be that authoritative parent or still get your message across with showing compassion to your children. So I challenge you to take a stand and find alternate ways to communicate, to effectively communicate with your kids. Think about how that made you feel growing up and where you sit today as an adult and how that's still impacting your life. Do you really want to transfer that kind of behavior onto your kid? Or do you want to be better? Not just for them, but for you too. And to the people that don't have children, this applies to you as well, because this is a great way for you to start journaling those thoughts, those behaviors that you hated from your parents. Journal them down and make a promise to yourself that when you do become a parent, that these are some of the things that you will never transfer down to your bloodline. As parents, we make mistakes. But here's the thing. Why continue to make the same mistake that has proven to be harmful? There's so many other mistakes that we're going to be making as parents. There's room for new mistakes. But as far as the ones that are proven to be hurtful, harmful, detrimental to your child, no, let's fix those. Because there's going to be a lot more room for a lot of different mistakes. But why continue doing something that has been proven to be harmful? I can promise you this, if you take the time to really do the work, heal, go within, pray, meditate, it will pay off. You're not charged with being perfect, but you are charged with being emotionally and mentally mature so that your children can grow up and be the same. It's your responsibility to give your children what they need to be emotionally and mentally stable. This space is so powerful to me, and I wanted to develop this safe space because I remember what it was like growing up. And I felt like nobody could relate to me. It was embarrassing to have two parents that were trash can ass parents. I felt like if I came and developed this platform, that people would understand that you are not alone. I see you. I hear you. I'm here for you if you need me to. And there are solutions, simple, not Well, not simple solutions all the time, but there are solutions and there are alternatives when you have grown up in a toxic environment. One of the reasons how I found out how to heal is because I had to discover that God gave me everything that I needed in order to heal. It was not those things outside of me, but everything that was already instilled in me. And I just had to take the time to learn how to connect with that and heal from it. And you can too. I can promise you, if you take the time to reflect and do the work, not for just your children, but for you first, it will show up in your relationships. It will show up in your workplace. It will show up in your friendships in a positive manner. Family train you to accept disrespect. I'm here to untrain you. And just remember, I'm not for everybody, but I can be for you if you need me to. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment, safe space below.